What up? It's your boy Quez the Barber, and you tuned in with Head Campus TV for another episode of Student of the Game. Today I got one of my students with me, Dean, and we're going to get into this interview real quick. So Dean, man, what's up, man?
Living the dream, man. Another day in barber school.
That's what's up, bro. I appreciate you coming out doing this interview with me, taking your time out your day. You could be doing anything, but we sitting down here dropping some knowledge on the people who curious about coming into the industry.
Absolutely.
So, first question. What made you want to become a barber, and how long have you been in the industry?
That's a good question. I became a barber almost traditional sense of wanting to improve on people's self-esteem, improving on how they look. I used to be a piercer before this, so I was in the game of cosmetics and changing people's aesthetics on a day-to-day.
Damn, piercing?
Yeah.
How long were you doing that?
I was doing it about a year and a half, 2 years or something like that.
How did you, not to, veer away too much on barbering, but that's interesting. How did you come about that?
My brother-in-law opened up a tattoo shop, and at the time I was already interested in the industry of piercing and tattooing.
Gotcha.
And so did my research, kind of hit the ground running with his shop. I didn't go through a traditional apprenticeship.
Right.
I studied with a guy named Fakir Musafar in San Francisco.
Okay.
And then went from there. So
what made you want to switch over?
Well, my brother-in-law sold the shop, and so I decided at that point that as fun as piercing was, just where I was in my life and where I'm located now in Texas, it's not very viable for the income and goals that I have.
Right.
So I tried to switch lanes, and then I found barbering. I took a tour of this school about 5 years ago before it opened. And then from there, I just tried to save up money and get a job that could afford going here, man.
Now that's crazy because, I'm here, of course, for the master program,
yes.
And, everybody else is either Blade or Crossover or something like that. But what was this school like 5 years ago before it actually opened? Because I haven't met anyone who has had the pleasure of touring it before it opened.
It was almost an entirely different cast of people. Obviously, you had Miss Lily, the director, still here. Miss Nicole was her right hand.
Right.
And we had just the single barrel, just this side right here. We now have the two sides, but it was only about 10 chairs. And
wow.
It was quiet. It was cool, though. It was very low-key, very industrial. Same vibe you got now, just more personal, I guess.
Man, that's motivation for real, because I'm actually, aside from the interviews, I'm actually have to do a tour of the school so the viewers can actually see what you're saying, because of course we're in this section of the school, so they don't have the vision of the school. And I'm telling you guys right now, it's a marvelous school, man. I love what Miss Lily has done. It's very nostalgic, and it's just a wonder environment to come to every day. So I would have loved to see it before what it is now.
Yeah, that was a big part of why I chose this school, was just the attraction of the place. Like, it's so homegrown and it's so got its own style and feel to it that I just vibed with. I clicked with right away. So as soon as I walked in the doors, I knew this was the school I needed to go to.
For sure. So being in school now, what have been some of the most difficult things for you transitioning from piercing to barbering, if any?
I actually would say there's two sides to that coin. So the positive side is that because I was a piercer, I was much more intimate with people and being face to face with them and being hands-on with strangers than I am even here. So coming in here to cut hair, do facials, anything like that, shake hands, greeting, get to know people, that was second nature, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
The downside is, or the negative I guess, was that I needed to have a job. I'm on my own with my wife, and so I needed to have a job to pay for tuition. I'm not a veteran or anything like that, and because the school only does financial aid through the VA, I was having to come up front with money. So
no, I know what you mean, because I'm not VA and I'm not veteran either, and I had to pay out of my pocket.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for me, I went to school, got my bachelor's degree, and I used up all my Pell Grant there, and I was a barber prior, which I got financial aid for about 10 years ago. So I was I was done as far as help.
Yeah.
So I know what it feels like to have to pay out of your pocket.
And that's why I took a tour 6 years ago, and now I'm in it today versus starting 6 years ago.
Gotcha.
Because I was working overnights at a grocery store, and I thought, all right, I need to step it up. I got a second job, paid off debts, and then that still wasn't enough money. I took a second tour of the school and still couldn't afford it about a year or two later. And so I was like, all right, I got to work my way up through this company, man. I got to get better.
Oh, man.
So I went
that's
from a server at a dining movie theater to a manager within about a year. And then I saved for another 3 because that was enough. And then now I can finally apply myself. So I couldn't be more happy to be here. You know what I mean?
No, man, for sure. But that just show you what happened when you work hard and work diligently toward your future, man.
Yeah.
Some people sit around and make excuses for themselves and say, "Oh, I want to do this, but I can't." But by you telling that story of having a family and having to work hard, that just shows how much integrity you have and how much you care about your craft.